The gullies are the lanes or the alleys or the back streets, I guess is how we would describe them, of the slums, in this case in India, in New Delhi. So the gully schools are schools that are in these lanes and slums and back streets. For children growing up in the gullies or the slums of New Delhi and other Indian cities, their future is very limited. These children are really outside the system. When we were walking through the slums and we were looking at the kids, and there's this little boy and he's got this most filthy rag that he's putting over his head and playing with it, and beside him is this other little boy who has a bucket of most filthy water, and the two of them are playing together, and my son just looked at them and said, those guys need to go to gully school. And that's who you're going for. The gully school is really bringing the schools to the children, bringing the schools to the streets. That's the concept of the gully school. Since the children won't go to school, we will bring the school to them. Sometimes it can be in the open air. It might be just under a big tree. Sometimes you'll see like a goat, a cow or something hanging around the edges of it, and you wonder how can that be a school? But it is. A day in the gully school is probably about a 4-hour day. They would be doing things like letters. They will be learning numbers. They would have things like singing. The gully schools bring back some of the kids' childhood, bring some joy into their life and happiness into their life. One of the things that holds people back is a lack of confidence. If you can't read and you can't write, you really can't enter society. You're on the outside of it in your own world. So as soon as people begin to have access to that kind of knowledge, it's like the whole world opens up. One of the really wonderful, interesting, magical thing about the gully schools is how it draws in other children. You'll see a young boy and he's looking and he's curious and he's wondering if he can become a part of the gully schools. Maybe he's just wondering initially, and then maybe like the next day he's kind of wanting, and then maybe by day 3 or 4 he's sitting in the school with the other kids. The gully schools can be a ticket to a better life, a life outside of the slums. I have one student that we saw, his name is Yosef. He was a little bit of a petty criminal. He was, I think, 6 or 7, leader of a gang, breaking into warehouses in Old Delhi at night. Somehow got convinced to come to the gully schools. Within a year was one of their star pupils. So he's a young fellow who's seen con from really a life that was going to end up a prison life eventually, and being a star pupil now in the regular school system. We might be a bit ahead of ourselves to say that the gully schools are revolutionizing the slums at this point, because it's early days yet. They only started in 1997, but they certainly have the power to create great change. One of the fabulous things about the gully schools is a little money goes a long way. Yes, I am! Through visiting India very frequently and visiting these projects and the gully schools very often, Chris and I can see a real difference from visit to visit. How a chalkboard and a teacher means an opportunity. We want other people to feel those good things that we're feeling, to have that feeling of satisfaction and of giving. And that's why we started the Giving World. It's not hard to become involved at all. All you have to do is give. Even one person can make a difference. And even if you make a difference to one person, that might be that one person that we need in this world. Whatever anybody contributes or whatever anybody wants to give, it will make a difference. 100% of that money that they contribute will go to India, to these projects. 100%. People should never feel that they're too small to give. Nobody is too small to give.